What's up? Welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacTheMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today we're diving right back into Alien Earth, Season 1, Episode 3. I know everybody's really excited. Most people. There are a couple people on the internet who are not having the Alien series. I think it's the connection of the series that part of it, like the fact that we're world building and expanding, and it's not just like on a ship with like aliens decapitating people for 10 episodes, which could be a fun TV series. I'm not gonna lie, that's fun, but it's also interesting to actually see this world that we keep building, because if we're going to keep making movies in and around the Alien universe, it's fun to actually know what universe that looks like. So we're really sort of exploring the political landscape of Earth and these different companies, and all these different versions of androids, cyborg, and synthetics. So in episode 3, when's last we left, our intrepid Wendy was off to rescue her brother Joe from an alien. And we pick up where he's trapped in some goo, literally telling her, "This is a trap. Heads up, this is a trap." And she goes in and rescues him anyway. She's like, "I got this super strength shit because I'm a synthetic. I might as well use it." And she ends up having to go toe to toe with a xenomorph, which you would think wouldn't work out well for her, but surprisingly does, as she ends up decapitating the xenomorph. But something weird happens when that happens, and some gas comes out of the xenomorph. It's like, man, these fuckers are just built to wreak havoc no matter what stage. They've got like these crazy ass bodies with acid, and if you kill one, it's going to release death gas. So it like releases this gas that drops Wendy, even though she doesn't have lungs. Because it talks about how they don't have internal organs. So it drops her brother, and so they collapse. Meanwhile, Gerst, Timothy Oliphant, whatever, is off when he sort of gets a call from boy genius, and he's like, we have to secure all this. We got all this research that landed there. We have to secure it and bring it home. And he's like, I don't know if it's so. And he's, boy genius, who's not there, doesn't understand anything, and clearly, as a smart person, is unable to connect dots, is worried about like the fact that Wendy went off after her brother. And meanwhile, he's been with Toodles and what is the other one? I don't even know. Nibs? That's right, Nibs. It was like some like weird three level thing. Anyway, Nibs and Toodles have been there the whole time. And he's like, "Oh, I sent Slightly with her." But Slightly is not still with Wendy. Slightly is in another room with the eggs. And then Smee finds Slightly, but so does the cyborg that was on the ship. And he finds them, and things could be bad for these two if they weren't basically idiots. They come across so stupid. I think he thinks they're too stupid to kill, so he just doesn't do that, because he's like, "What on earth? You talk like children." And then I think he figures it out eventually, is the thing, even though he doesn't actually say, "I know what you are, you're this." He just keeps his quote before he flees the room is, "When is a machine not a machine?" was like, I don't when it's human. I don't know. Your riddle, sir, is cool, but it also um. So he has left slightly with a riddle, but he's also put this little like tracking device on slightly. He gets chased out by Oliphant, and well, the presence of more synthetics that he obviously just can't beat. So he escapes through like a hole, and essentially with the xenomorph dead, it just becomes easy for Boy Wonder's team to come in there and just take all of the stuff, and they have a secure underground bunker where to put all this stuff. So he has it now. I love the analogy about you know, hitting the ball into my yard. You know, this is the ball, you hit it into my yard. It's my ball now. um and we see that Wendy is in undergoing treatment. Her brother is as well, because they have to take out his lungs. By the end of the episode, neither Wendy or her brother are technically okay. We see Wendy, but I think she's in like a fever dream because nobody seems to be able to recognize her. But as they start hitting her with, hitting the aliens with stuff, Wendy walks in and sees that they figured out how to like open one of the eggs, and they've grabbed one of the face huggers, and they've gone inside and gotten one of the chest bursters and put it in a little thing, a little glass of, but like this whole thing is really traumatic for her for some reason. Like she's now connected to the aliens because she killed one and breathed in the death gas. I don't know. And but also I was like, is this real? Is she really feeling this? Or is she just so smart that she can feel this, and she's like moving? Is she really moving through the hallway? Because she's like within feet of everybody and nobody acknowledges her. So I don't know what the intention was behind that scene. If it was that she never actually got up and she is still back in the bed and she just was having a moment. Because her brother doesn't even have lungs right now and is being kept on like a machine. And his lungs were floating in a jar. And the final shot is them putting the chest burster in the jar and seeing how it goes into the lungs, how it wraps itself in the tissue. So, I mean, it's not going to burst out of anything because it's in a jar and with lungs. It's not an actual human. So I'm betting Joe's just going to become a cyborg. That's going to be his future. They're going to end up having to put parts in him so he becomes less of a man than he was before. And I'm sure Wendy will be fixed. But she's now got some weird connection with the aliens. I don't know why, but maybe it'll explain it at some point. And Slightly is now connected, because he can't figure out that he has a device on him, to the cyborg, who now can just communicate with him at will. And the cyborg has figured out he's a kid, but I don't think he's figured out how the kid got in the synthetic body. So he talks to him like he's talking to a kid. He's like, "Do you want to be my friend? I don't have any friends. I just want to want to have a friend. I just want to have somebody. Can I just have somebody to talk to?" Because Slightly's like, "I don't want to talk to you. No, stop talking to me." It's basically just a voice inside of his head, because he's got this little patch that he or no one can see that's on him that allows this guy to communicate to him. Which I was like, isn't this like a high-tech facility? And like no one picks up on the fact that this guy is sending off like signals at all. They're not like, "Slightly, you're sending off radio signals. Why?" Uh, weird. So Smee doesn't do much else other than hang out with Slightly, and then they get interrogated together about their experience. Um, and you know, the Cyborg, like, what did you tell him? You know, what did you say? What did he say to you? We heard him whisper something. And then that's when Smee and Slightly also learned that everything that they see is being captured by cameras, and they're downloading all the stuff that they see. And they're like, I don't think I like that. Um, and uh, the the two other girls, what have lamented. They're like, why are we the Lost Boys? Like, half of us are girls. You know, why didn't we get to choose our names? All those kind of things are the deep conversations that they're having. So we see Curly ends up having a conversation with Boy Genius, and Curly is interested in becoming the favorite. She's really pulling for that, and she starts tapping into all of the stuff Boy Genius actually is looking for, which is somebody to expand and have conversations with. So she's taking advantage of her brain power, and like all of has like learned French, downloaded all of French, and became fluent in French, and wants to continue to learn. She says she has ideas, but doesn't want to tell him because he'll just steal them. So Boy Genius gives her some material to like read, and then he's like, and then I, it's so weird when he said play, and then we can play. And I'm like, in a different show, I would think that meant something else, that would be like a stand-in for like sex, but here I actually think he means play. In this show, I actually contextually think, with all these kids that have been elevated into sort of like adult roles, I think he actually does mean play. I actually think in his version of playing with another kid that he didn't get to do when he was a kid because nobody else was at his intelligent level. All that shit that he rambled about in the previous episode. So if he can find Curly smart, then he'll do whatever his version of playing would have been, intellectually play with someone sitting down and, I don't know, playing Scrabble or whatever the fuck he plays. And lastly, I don't know, that's really it. We do see Boy Genius puts Oliphant's character in charge of all of the things, and because Oliphant explains to Boy Wonder before he gets a face hugger attached to him that the eggs are parasitic, and he's like, I saw it in the data, like I took all the data off the ship and read it, and it's like a parasite. It attaches itself, it plants something in you, and it bursts out of your chest. And Boy Genius is a little like, oh shit, that almost happened to me, because Oliphant pushes him away before anything happens to him. So he's like, okay, so only you're in charge, only synthetics allowed in here, no humans. So Oliphant gets to be in charge of all the alien shit, which is, I'm sure, what he wants. Because there was a note in the audio description about there being a little smirk. So I think the audio description has been pretty great the whole time. Like there are all of these like little details, like the white liquid coming out of Wendy when she's dying because she doesn't have blood. It's like, what does she have? I was kind of like, what is the white liquid? Like, where is that coming from? What is that for? And even her brother collapsing and the convulsing and everything I thought that was all really well described. The egg and sort of how the eggs are like, they're like ready to come and attack, but at the same time, only if like certain people approach them. Otherwise, they're just sort of like undulating eggs. And kind of all the little different aliens. I know the complaint I've seen from some people has been like that the xenomorph is not like taking center stage, and I'm like, give it time. We're at the beginning of the series. It's doing world. Does nobody understand world building? Are we so? Is it such a TikTok generation now that we have people who literally just cannot sit back and enjoy character development anymore and actually understand who people are and as we develop their backgrounds? And that's the reason why you do it in series form. The movies and the series are not going to be the same because that's the reason you do a series is to expand upon a world in a way that you couldn't in film. So if you look at some of the other things that are, and albeit some of the stuff is better than Alien Earth. The Penguin is better than Alien Earth. I'm not going to argue against that, but I'm also not going to say Alien Earth is bad. But the Penguin is like flawless. But the Penguin is a great example of world building. So if you were expecting it to be like Batman and just be wham bam action all the time, that's not what it is. So, but it is a very intriguing crime drama, but it is extended over the course of a bunch of episodes. They did the same thing with Watchmen, where they took a film that was already like 3 hours and they extended it longer. It's been a little bit less successful with like the Lord of the Rings stuff, where they're extending that franchise, but that's all with the intent of world building and showing you all the stuff that happened before. Kind of makes me wonder if people are rejecting Alien Earth. See, the complaint about like the Harry Potter books was, well, you're cutting all this stuff out that was in the books and was not in the series. Well, when they do the series, they'll be able to actually include all that stuff. So we'll actually get to see all these scenes that were never included in the movies because they didn't have time. So are all the people who are bitching about Alien Earth going to hate Harry Potter because the pacing is different, because it's actually including all of the stuff that was cut out of the books originally? I don't know. It's interesting. I love watching the discourse online, but that's sort of what is on right now. Is it feels like people just, the pacing, or they noticed to which I talked about in my last recap, the Disney synergy that was happening with the mention of Peter Pan and then also Ice Age. And it's like, they're kid movies, and they're kids. And Disney does kind of have a pretty strong grip on kids and kid movies. I mean, that's kind of their thing. So what did you think they're going to put How to Train Your Dragon in there just so that they could be like, guys, we don't want to be seen as corporate synergy? They kind of went a little bit in a different direction anyway, because Ice Age, while Ice Age is now Disney, it's not Disney. I mean, it's not, it wasn't like it wasn't like Peter Pan and Aladdin were both in here. You know, it was Peter Pan and Ice Age, which was originally developed under Fox by Blue Sky Animation, completely different animation studio. So, but are people going to complain about it? Absolutely. Are they going to think about those kind of like nuances? No, they're not. Anyway, I like Alien Earth so far. So, I'm still not doing a tomato meter grade for this. I want to keep going with it and see where it goes. Last time I said it was like between like an 8.5 and a 9 for me. But yeah, I'm feeling that. Although I'm feeling it's probably closer to an 8.5 than a 9, in that range. But yeah, it's still sort of in that range for me. We'll see how the season keeps progressing. So I would say approximately 8.5 right now would be a grade I would give Alien Earth. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'll see you guys on the other side.